I'm guessing if you've clicked on this video, then you've come here to either learn something new, save yourself some money, or maybe just you like cars, and let's face it, television's boring, right? Well, luckily for you, you'll definitely be glad you came, because I can guarantee the next few minutes will tick all of those boxes and more. One of my most popular methods is the technique that I coined as the rub and buff method. Many of you have responded, achieving some great results using the technique, some saving thousands on panels that they were told needed respraying. One of the appeals of such repairs is that pretty much anyone can do it, all from the comfort of their home garage or driveway. Also, as many of my videos promote, these methods can be done extremely low cost using minimal material and tools. This video is no different. Both scratches and road rash can be repaired using this method, as well as panel scuffs and grazers. These techniques have served me well, and I am happy to reveal my trade secrets to you. I think it's safe to say that 5 years into this YouTube channel, I've probably created the most varied and respected catalogue of car scratch and chip repair content on the internet, racking up millions of views from all across the world. This particular method is pretty self-explanatory. You rub paint into the affected area, you wait, then you buff off the excess with a polisher. However, there are some rules to the game as always, and the success of the repair will depend on them. This is probably the most value-packed, important content I've ever done on scratch and chip repair, so don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and let's crack on. Most asked question number 1, what paint do you use? So the simple answer to that is solvent-based automotive paint. Question number 2, does water-based paint work? For spraying, yeah. For touch-up work, not really suitable. It's actually a completely different material to solvent-based paint. It's almost uncomparable, so that's a no. Top 3 most common asked questions, do you mix clear coat lacquer in? In this particular method, the rub and buff technique, no I don't. I use Paint Gear paint, which has its own gloss enhancer additive mixed in. If you can't get hold of that for whatever reason, or you've got your own paint, that's absolutely fine. Just use neat paint. Question number 4, can I use paint from an aerosol can? My straightforward answer for this is, unfortunately guys, no, definitely not for the rub and buff method. It's not thick enough. They have to really thin it down to get it to spray out the can. It's just not really suitable. If it's a last resort for other touch-up type techniques, yeah, go for it. Question number 5. You always say neat paint. What does this mean? When I say neat, I'm usually referring to the thickness of the paint. If it's been thinned down with thinners, then it's going to compromise this method, and it might compromise different types of touch-up methods. So that's what I mean by neat. So that's neat as in not thinned down. Question number 6. I have some paint from the dealers. Will this work? The answer is possibly yes. Some dealers do supply solvent paint, others may supply water-based. One way to check is to smell the paint. If it smells the thinners or solvents, it's probably solvent-based paint. Number 7. Does this type of repair last? You know what, I don't really know. I've done it on a couple of my own cars that I've had over 12 months and it seems to have held up, so I'm going to say yeah. Number 8, I get asked this a lot. With no clear coat in the paint, won't it just wash away? So we're referring to lacquer. In my experience, no, it won't wash off or wash away. solvent paint, once it bonds itself to something, it's quite hard to get off actually, and you're going to probably need thinners to get it off. Question 9. Does this method work on every colour? I'm going to answer this one yes and no. Different colours always play a factor when working on car paint, be it touching in or spraying. Darker colours as well as block colours seem to get more consistently better results, although I've had good results from almost all colours, including metallics. Number 10. What about silver? Silver. As always with silver, it can be difficult to get the results you want. This may be down to its high metallic consistency, as well as the high content of semi-transparent tints used to mix the paint. Number 11. How long do I leave the paint to dry before buffing? This is probably the number one question that I've been asked thousands of times. So this may depend a little on the environment, temperature, but under normal temperatures, only around 3 minutes or so. I have left the paint applied overnight on a few occasions, but noticed it reduced the success ratio of the repairs. So about 3 minutes. Number 12, another common question. Can I use my random orbital or DA for this? I'm going to have to answer no, sorry, we need something that spins, not something that oscillates, such as a DA or orbital. You can use a drill, a rotary polisher, or a little mini rotary polisher. Number 13, can you tell me what pads I should use for this? Okay, so this applies to any sort of polishing work when you've been doing sanding or rub and buff method or any kind of paint or damage removal. You're going to need a nice stiff pad like this orange one, not a soft spongy one like the black one. Number 14, what polish should I use for this? Okay, ideally you need a cutting paste, polishing compound or medium to heavy polish which is suitable to be used by machine. There's a couple of brand example here that I like to use. I've left a link in the description for both. And finally 15, I tried this, it didn't work for me. Well, you know what? That's happened to me many times too, and I've been doing this for 20 years, probably been doing this type of work properly for about 15 years, and do you know what? It's all about expectations, and with this method and other touch-up methods, it's always in my mind that it's an alternative to having the panel resprayed, which is obviously going to cost a lot of money and it's going to take a lot of time, and often it just doesn't warrant that to be done. So with the rub and buff method particularly, if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, oh well. Does it always work? No. When it works, is the area perfect? Often not. It's important to manage your own or your client's expectations. I am going to attempt to improve this area of the car. It is damaged and I must accept it is damaged. Anything that I can do to improve it or conceal it is a massive bonus. So I'm going to conclude this video with this method works best on fresh, untampered, fine scuffs and scratches, usually within the clear coat or when the damage has penetrated the colour coat. Usually if the method hasn't worked, then it's normally one of three things that's possibly happened. Unsuitable damage, the damage wasn't right for the touch-up work. Unsuitable paint as discussed in the video, or unsuitable polishing materials. We've covered all three of these things in the video. So that wraps up another episode on CVR POV. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've stayed this long. It's not been a long video. I always try and keep them quite short, but loads of information packed in. I reckon if you've stayed this long, you've definitely learned something. And if you can help the channel out by leaving a comment, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you in another video soon.